Okay, so one of the commenters asked how to clean the carburetor, so I'm just going to quickly show you how to take it off as well. First, take your bucket out of this bit here. There's a few different places where it's attached on, so there's the two electrical connectors here. This one's going to the auto choke, this one's going to a heater for the carburetor. This is a suction pipe which opens a diaphragm which allows fuel to come in through your fuel pipe here. This is your two-stroke oil pipe here. This goes to the engine, so that's your manifold to the engine from the carburetor to the engine. And this goes to the airbox. I've undone most of the fastenings. Usually there's a zip tie here which you need to cut. You need to take off your suction pipe here. So usually that'll be on a bit harder than that. Take off the two-stroke oil pipe here. Remove the fuel here. Undo these two clips, and they can only go one way, so don't worry about getting them confused. Undo this screw, undo this bit here to remove your throttle and slide, which I put up here, and then just wiggle it out. It's all rubber, so it should come. And there's your carb out. Okay, once we've got the carb off, this is the carb here, we've relocated inside because it's a little bit cold outside. First thing you want to do to clean it is to take the float bowl off. Just to give you a little walk around of the carb first of all though, this knurled wheel here, which you can move quite easily, that's your idle screw, so you can anytime you can change your idle to higher or lower. If you screw it in, it will get higher. If you screw it out, it gets lower, and it basically just moves the needle up and down here and lets more or less fuel out. Next to it here is the air fuel mixture screw, so you can use this. What I use it for is if you find that you can't start your bike, so you need to move your idle screw to get it idling higher, and now it starts okay, but once it gets warmed up it revs too high, then you can screw this in and your maximum revs will be brought down again so it's not revving really high when you're sitting at the traffic lights or whatever. This is a plate they put in to redirect the airflow through the carb. I don't know if people in the comments can tell me whether or not you should have this or you shouldn't. I've left it in because I don't know whether it's useful or not, so I just, I leave it there for time being. This is the pipe that provides suction to allow fuel to go in here, which gets the fuel into the carb that way. This provides two-stroke fuel through, and that comes through this area here. I don't know whether you can see through the carburetor there, can't see at the moment, but you can, that's basically the flow from air from back to this side goes to the engine. Under here is the auto choke, which is basically a needle that goes up or down and allows more fuel through depending on how hot it is. It melts some wax and allows a needle to extend or retract. So the first thing you want to do is to remove this float bowl, which is really easy. Just undo two screws, one here, flathead screws, one's here, and another one is here. That one. A little bit of fuel might come down now. Usually if you don't turn your carb upside down after you've taken it off your bike, some fuel is going to come out now. Do that. And that's the float balls come off. There's a little gasket there that you don't want to lose. Just take that to one side. There's your float bowl. Mine's looking relatively clean, but we'll get a little spray out anyway when we come to clean it. This is the float. I'm going to remove this. Probably can get it to just come out by getting the needle out. There we go. Once that needle comes out, that's what holds your float in place, and that has the needle on it there that allows fuel to come in or out of your float bowl. And that looks in very good condition. And what else you've got here is, this is the main jet, which actually I'm going to be replacing that today for a different one because I wanted to put in a slightly narrower jet, a number 54, and this is the idle jet here. So idle jet, main jet. So I'm going to remove the main jet. Sorry, this screwdriver's not very good. I'm going to remove this main jet and take this out, and I'll be replacing that later on. And you can, if you want, remove that idle jet as well. I may just take this plate off just for now, just for while we're cleaning it, to make sure we can get in there good. You should just be able to pull it off with your fingernails like this. Maybe I'll use the screwdriver. There we go. Probably not good for it, but I've done it now anyway. I'm not sure whether or not you can take out this main. Yes, you can. So you can remove this piece here, which is what this goes through here and ends up squirting into your carburetor, and you can remove this to clean it out as well, because I don't know if you can see on there, but it has these little jets on the side and they can potentially get clogged. Do you have a similar one for the idle as well? No, I think it comes through a different way. It doesn't have one. Anyway, what you need to do is get some carb cleaner, basically any kind that you want. I mean, if you can, and if you have the ability, you could put all this into an ultrasonic bath and do it that way, but for most people, just buying a really cheap carb cleaner is going to be the way to do it, and it's how I do it. And once you've bought this, you know, it costs like a couple of pounds, a few dollars or whatever. You basically use it to squirt out anywhere inside this carb where little bits of dirt could potentially get in and block it up or anything. So there you go. Make sure you wear safety glasses when you do this. I just sprayed the lens. I think it's okay. Make sure you wear safety glasses when you do it, because this stuff can be extremely nasty if it gets in your eyes. To you how much of a go you want to give this. I cleaned this one relatively recently, so it probably doesn't need that much cleaning, to be honest, so I'm just going to give it a quick spray out and then put it back together. So once you're happy with the amount that you've done that, then basically you just need to slot it all back together the way you put it together originally. So this is where the main jet would go. The camera there. Snug that up. Doesn't have to be tight, just has to be snug. You don't want to be over tightening anything here, because if you strip anything out in here, you're never going to get it back together. The jet's in there, that's fine. Put our float back on. This floats up and down in the gasoline in the float chamber and either shuts off or allows more fuel through. And that's what regulates the fuel coming in and out of the float bowl of your carburetor. Make sure this gasket goes back on. It sits in there nicely and there's no gunk in there. And then simply fit it back over. Sorry, I did actually say I was going to replace this jet with a different one, so I'm going to take it out again. Put in a slightly smaller one, because this bike is running a bit too rich and it's 4-stroking when I first started up, which isn't great. It makes it a bit difficult to control. I'll put this plate back on, and then I'll put this bowl back on, and the easy way to locate it is because this auto choke thing always goes in this hole here, and then we just go like that. Nothing ever works works when you're doing it on camera. When you're not fitting, or you want to fit. It's in the right place. There we go. Just tighten that up. Again, don't over tighten anything. It's not necessary, and if you strip it out, you'll really regret it. Just tighten that snug. Snug. And that's it. All back together. Not so clean on the outside, but definitely cleaner on the inside. And that's what we want. Okay, I hope that helped.